Hey, what's up people, JayDub here. This is going to be the second in my weekly question and answer videos. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't upload it on Thursdays, like what's the hold up? Well, I changed the day where I upload the Q&A videos from Thursdays to Saturdays because this allows me to talk about SmackDown in the video, you know, squeeze in a little time for it. So I'm going to start off this video talking about SmackDown, and why not start off talking about the #1 guy on that show, the World Heavyweight Champion, Jack Swagger. He's been recently involved in a feud with the Big Show for the World Championship. And he's been doing these segments where he's touting all of his accomplishments, you know, basically bragging about things such as winning Boy Scout badges when he was a kid, up into high school championships and college scholarships, you know, various things like that. What do you guys think about these segments? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you aren't watching SmackDown, you need to be watching SmackDown because it puts on some great matches. It puts on a good show each and every week. You don't get some of the crazy things that you see on Monday Night Raw. And on this last episode of SmackDown, you had two great matches. What was it? Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. That was the main event. And Christian versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. But back to Jack Swagger. These segments, you know, they're very polarizing as I can see. It's either people love them or they hate them. It's either people think they're entertaining or think they're very boring. I'm one of the ones that think they're very entertaining. I'm just loving these segments, how Jack Swagger delivers his lines. I'm loving how the segments are set up. Like Jack Swagger could be talking, and in mid-sentence they would go to a break, and when they come back from commercial, he would be standing there still talking. So I do nothing but just sit up and laugh at these segments. Then you add in the Big Show. I think he's been pretty entertaining on SmackDown since making the move from Monday Night Raw. So all in all, I'm just loving this world title feud on SmackDown. And I spoke about Christian and Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. That was the finals of a four-person tournament for the IC Championship that was vacated because Drew McIntyre was fired last week, fired by Teddy Long, the GM of Friday Night SmackDown. But yeah, so this week Kofi Kingston, he won the match, thus winning the championship, but he was stripped of it, and it was awarded back to Drew McIntyre after he was reinstated to the roster by Vince McMahon. This is basically just the way to get Drew McIntyre more over with the crowd, which I don't think is working, and also a way to put more of a spotlight on the Intercontinental Championship and put more of an emphasis on it because it's basically faded into the background because Drew McIntyre has been such a poor Intercontinental Champion. Like, I'm really not liking this reign at all. I said I wanted to see him with more competition. I'm guessing he's going to get that competition with Kofi Kingston, but still, I'm not really impressed with Drew McIntyre at all. I wasn't going to answer this question, but since the topic came up, somebody asked me, what's your favorite Drew McIntyre match? And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't have a favorite Drew McIntyre match. Like, does anybody have a favorite Drew McIntyre match? He hasn't really impressed me as far as his in-ring ability goes. The most impressive thing about Drew McIntyre is the fact that Vince McMahon named him as the chosen one, and that's what he's resting on right now. It seems like he's been in cruise control. He really hasn't taken control of the wheel and started to drive his own character into whatever destiny he has. Like, if he's talking about he's going to be the future world champion, why don't you show me you're going to be a future world champion? I don't need Vince to tell me you're going to be a future world champion. You need to show me for myself, because Vince, he has one opinion. Well, guess what? I have an opinion also, and you all do too. This kind of compares to the whole Sheamus situation, because Sheamus, he was resting on his friends backstage also. Sheamus didn't start to impress me until he took that wheel himself and started to drive his own car. Sheamus, he's in the driver's seat. Drew McIntyre, he's still on the passenger side as far as I'm concerned. He has to do a lot more than, getting breaks from people in the back, because Vince, he's expunged 2 legitimate losses that Drew McIntyre has had. When is this going to stop? Like, where is it going to end? Like, is Vince just going to all of a sudden get tired of Drew McIntyre? Like, how does this storyline end? I don't know where it's going. And Drew, you really need to step it up, because you look like you have potential, but I'm getting tired of this whole, and I'm getting tired of this thing. So, moving on, a couple of other things that happened on SmackDown. Layla won the Women's Championship, and Beth Phoenix went out with an injury. And like those matches that I told you that they had this week that were pretty good, make sure you're watching SmackDown because it's a pretty good show. On to the actual questions. I had about 150 questions, so there's no way in hell that I'm getting to all of these questions in one video. And I want you to submit new questions every week. So even if you didn't, well, even if you did submit a question and I didn't get to it in this video, if you want to submit it again, just try it. If you want to submit something different this week, go right ahead. But I want to keep things fresh and new, and, you know, keep things moving as far as these questions go. But I guess luckily for you guys, out of the 150 questions I got, 50% of them were repeat questions of like 2 questions, and I'm not lying about this at all. Those 2 questions, one dealt with Triple H and the other one dealt with TNA. The first, I'm going to address the Triple H thing. People are asking me, JayDub, where is Triple H? Is Triple H retired? Is Triple H going to retire? Triple H, I'm pretty sure he's at home living the married life, living as a husband, as a father, with his pregnant wife, Stephanie McMahon. Yes, she is pregnant with her 3rd child. And, you know, he's enjoying his 2 daughters that are already born. And, yeah. That's basically my whole thoughts on the situation. No, Triple H is not retired as of yet. His retirement, I don't, well, I did say in my Extreme Rules video that it seemed like his retirement was coming up pretty soon. That was because I was a little bit on the Marcus side. Like, I kind of, and I'm admitting this, but, you know, it's still real to me, damn it. That was my moment right there, because I'm such a big fan of Triple H. It was, like, astonishing of me to see him beat down so bad, and I forgot wrestling was scripted for that moment. That's why I had to take a pause in the video, like... But yeah, Triple H, I'm pretty sure he'll be back sooner or later and get revenge on Sheamus, and everything will be back rolling. He'll get that 14th World Championship pretty soon and be back on top of his game. Now, the second question that has been asked so many times, JayDub, what do you have against TNA? Do you have anything against TNA? Because it seems like you do. JayDub, why do you hate TNA? What? Where did this question come from? Like, what would indicate to anybody that I had anything against TNA? Like, I just don't get this. Like, it just completely came out of nowhere. But yeah, with that being said, I don't hate TNA. I have nothing but TNA's best interests at heart. On to the next question. Do you think SmackDown will turn guys like Christian, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes into world champions? Christian, I'm hoping that's the road that they do go with Christian. Drew McIntyre, like I said, he has the backing backstage, so that may be what eventually happens. But like I said, until he starts impressing me, I'm not on the Drew McIntyre bandwagon. Cody Rhodes, I'm hoping that it happens at some point in Cody Rhodes' career, because I'm not even sure that it would happen at all, let alone, you know, now with the SmackDown field being wide open, because it is wide open. You lose Chris Jericho, you lose Edge, somebody has to, you know, move up and take those spots. Cody Rhodes, I think he's an all-in-all better superstar than Ted DiBiase is. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Cody Rhodes has better mic skills, and he also has better wrestling ability than Ted DiBiase does. Only thing Ted has going for him over Cody is that look, that it factor that we, you know, keep hearing about so much when WWE determines who to push and who not to push. If Cody Rhodes was as big as, you know, Ted DiBiase is, he would be a legit contender in WWE, but, you know, sadly, he's not. But hopefully that doesn't hold him back from being a world champion, or, you know, finding whatever success. But don't think that I'm hating on Ted either, because I wish both of them the best of success. But, you know, still, I'm hoping that Cody does, you know, get a chance to shine on his own. Do you think that John Morrison will be a better heel or face? Well, John Morrison, his moveset, it's great as a face, but I think he's better on the mic as a heel, because if you refer back to him in the Dirt Sheet duo with The Miz, he was great on the mic then, very entertaining, you know, funny. And John Morrison now, it just seems like he's so nervous on the mic now. And if that's the one thing that's holding him back from cracking that, you know, glass ceiling and moving to the next level in WWE, why not turn him heel, and hopefully he gets that confidence back and he's more comfortable on the mic as a heel, and you know, can go on to the heights that he hasn't seen yet. So yeah, I'll go with John Morrison as a heel. I have 2 questions. First, Do you think they'll bring back the Cruiserweight Championship for guys like Evan Bourne? And the second part of the question, I'll get to that. It's about Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson getting eliminated on NXT. So the first question, do you think they'll bring the Cruiserweight Championship back for guys like Evan Bourne? I've been saying this for the longest time. I want WWE to bring the Cruiserweight Championship back because there are a lot of small guys in WWE who wouldn't work in the main event scene, that aren't doing anything, but they're highly talented. Like, the only thing that they're doing, they're either jobbers or they're either in matches on Superstars. You could have people like, and I hate to say this, but, you know, hey, even somebody, no, I won't say Dolph Ziggler because he's good enough to be in the world title picture. And, you know, Intercontinental Championship or something like that. Hell, most of these guys I'm going to name are, but still, like Dolph Ziggler, I'm not going to put him in this group. I'll set him aside. But you have people like Evan Bourne, Chavo Guerrero, Primo, Carlito, Yoshitatsu, Zack Ryder, all of these guys, people like Yoshitatsu, they use them every now and then. People like Zack Ryder, they're used as jobbers. Evan Bourne, he's used as a jobber too, you know, or talent enhancement. Chavo Guerrero, same thing for him. They're very talented. They're small guys. Why not bring back the Cruiserweight Championship? And, you know, create a division, kind of like the X division, where they have like a different style of matches, the high-flying, fast-paced matches, and that could be an attraction. It could bring you a lot, you know, a lot more fans. So, yeah, I would say yeah to bringing back the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, on to Daniel Bryan. I also got a lot of questions on this. What do I think about Daniel Bryan being eliminated from NXT? So many Daniel Bryan fans were going fucking crazy over this. And it was so funny to me because I'm like, the same people that are complaining about him being eliminated from the show are the same ones who didn't want him on the show in the first place. So he got eliminated. He's off the show. You should be happy. But a lot of people, they also thought that he's like completely out of WWE. Like, I guess that was your "it's still real to me, damn it" moment also, because just because he got eliminated from NXT doesn't mean he got fired from WWE. Like, he's still on the WWE payroll or FCW, however they do that. No, I think it's yeah, he has a WWE contract. So yeah, because I remember they said they weren't going to send him to FCW, but he wanted to go down there because he was a little bit rusty in the ring. So he still has a WWE contract, and the promo that he cut after he got eliminated, that won me over. It completely won me over because he was on there talking about how, you know, they're always saying about this Daniel Bryan guy who was in the Independence and won all of these championships. He was like, you know, I never heard of any Daniel Bryan in the Independence, but he was like, but I do know of a Bryan Danielson, and this is the guy that used to kick people's heads in. This is a guy who took no prisoners. This is a guy that, you know, was considered the best wrestler in the independent scene, the best wrestler in the world. So he said he doesn't know what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan, but as far as Bryan Danielson go, the best is yet to come. I said, oh shit. I was like, wow, because that was great. Like, he didn't, he was kind of, it wasn't so much about his delivery, because I really didn't even care about the delivery, honestly, because the words he was speaking were so great, and it put everything into perspective. Like last week in my Q&A video, I was ready to come on here and rant, just cussing people the hell out, because I was like, why the hell are you continually letting this guy lose? Like, okay, 2 or 3 losses, maybe even 4 or 5 in a row, but 10 matches lost in a row, that's completely overblown. And you know what's going to come of this. But if this is what is to come of this, the return of Bryan Danielson and the death of Daniel Bryan, this will be the best thing that has happened to him since he's been in WWE. Getting eliminated from NXT, the best thing to happen to Bryan Danielson. And WWE, they are, I see that, like, sometimes they're doing these kind of unconventional pushes, like with The Miz last year when he was involved with John Cena. Like, that was the best thing to happen to The Miz's career, when he got squashed by John Cena. Like, when he got buried by John Cena, that was the best thing that ever happened to The Miz. And it kind of sounds crazy, being buried is the best thing that ever happened to you, but it worked. Look at where he is right now. So yeah, Daniel Bryan, I'm hoping that he returns as Bryan Danielson and finds success in WWE. And the last question I'm going to answer is, somebody asked me this last week. I wanted to get to it, but I didn't. They said, what is your favorite, most memorable moment in wrestling? My favorite and most memorable moment has to be, number one, well, I guess it's like 3 moments. One, One of those moments, like I said last week, was when I first started watching the Inferno match, Undertaker versus Kane, the one that was on Raw in 1999. Another moment was when Vince bought WCW. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. But my number one favorite moment had to be where Triple H interrupted the wedding of Stephanie McMahon and Test, and that was the start. That was like the basis and the starting of the whole McMahon-Helmsley faction, and that had to be my favorite time in wrestling. I absolutely love that storyline, and that's when I started to become a big Triple H fan, and that's why, you know, he's my number one favorite wrestler now, and that's why I love Stephanie so much. So, what was your number one favorite, most memorable moment in wrestling? Let me know that, and if you want to answer any of these other questions, give your thoughts on it, it's all good down there. Peace out.